Happy Hump Day, Soulies. What's the vibe? I'm actually getting so many downloads, and it's nice to sit with the mic because obviously I didn't release one last week, and there's been a lot of movement collectively, and I do feel like we're just over the next. I'm feeling like 2 to 3 weeks, things are really ramping up collectively, geopolitically. There's going to be stuff. But we don't need to fear. And that's the vibe check. I want to share with you, and I haven't spoken this out yet because it was only dropping into my head this morning. 3 pillars, foundational pillars that are going to support us through whatever is going to present itself collectively over the next 3 weeks. Okay. And there are 3 very clear pillars that came through to me. Those pillars are nervous system regulation to dissolve fear from our field, followed by community, followed by nature. So I'm going to talk about a few of those things, well, all of those things. But the first thing I want to say is like right now, there is a lot of frenetic energy in the field, cosmically, collectively, on the earth plane. If you are a sensitive being, which you are because you listen to this podcast, you're constantly checking in on what the vibes are doing, you're probably feeling it. And this can feel like a few things. Firstly, heightened anxiety. And it might not actually be you feeling anxious. It's like a grounded anxiety. It's like, I'm in my body, but my breathing is shallowed. Or I'm in my body, but I'm feeling more frenetic, more lightheaded, sleep interferences, jittery before falling asleep, feeling wired but tired, sleep interferences like visitation, entity attachment while you sleep, nightmares, night terrors. I'm not just speaking from my own experience. I'm speaking from lots of people in my life who are having the same things happen, lots of spiritually tapped in people. And so this is a time where we want to be really pristine with our energetic hygiene. Now, I talk about this all the time. So you guys know what I'm going to talk about. Salt water, calling in your guardians, calling in your guides, black tourmaline by your bed when you go to sleep at night, hydration, hydration, morning sun, blue light blocking at night. Like your sleep is paramount right now. But if you are open while you're sleeping, you will be getting visitation. Like it's the veil is very thin right now, and there's a mass collective chaotic energy. And I feel like many of us have tapped into that, even if we're far removed. Like for me, I'm on the Northern Rivers of New South Wales. I'm not in the firing line of any of this collective stuff in terms of intimately, but when you're a sensitive being, which, as I said, all of you listening, you're listening to this for a reason. You are one of those people that would be feeling and tapping into the stirring in the field earlier than most people. Now, this isn't like it's a forewarned is forearmed. Our energy and our energetic body and our intuition is our biggest ally and guardian. And like this is something that we can really utilize to prepare ourselves for the unknown that we are stepping into as a global community in the coming weeks and potentially months as well. And so this is where the first pillar of nervous system regulation is coming in, as we must prioritize that, not just over the coming days, but over the coming weeks and months, and ideally for the rest of our lives. Because when you are in your body and when you are able to regulate and when your capacity is expanded, you're able to hold the polarity of life and you're not as influenced by collective fear and chaos. You're more in your body, you're more solid, you're more regulated. And so you can think more clearly. And that's some of the wisdom that's coming through is like, if you're finding yourself in rabbit holes that are putting you into a state of fear or anxiety, remove yourself from those rabbit holes. But don't go into life blindly, because you can go the other way where it's like, I'm just not looking at anything and I'm not knowing anything. I'm putting my head in the sand. And that's more a denial than a facing off with reality. That is, there are some unpredictable um, life occurrences that are, I mean, we're already seeing it here in Australia with the fuel shortage. And obviously, fuel shortage leads to food supply chain being impacted, leads to increase in prices tenfold for all of the things, impacts cost of living, impacts everyday families like you and me. Like this isn't us fear mongering, this is just the reality. And so when you can regulate your nervous system to look at things quite pragmatically, you can prepare yourself. And when you're prepared, it's like, when you're prepared, at least it might be all my Virgo talking, but the fear doesn't exist. It cancels it out because it's like, okay, well, I'm good. So I would have a think about the ways that you are firstly nourishing your nervous system. And that is removing yourself from people, energies, environments that create anxiety and fear in your system. The group chats. And this doesn't have to be about what's happening collectively. This is just in your micro world. Like start micro and let it ripple macro. Like the group chats that are just taxing, the conversations that are just gossip or mean girl energy or bitching or any of that stuff. Just remove yourself from it. And all of these vibrationally pull us into a frequency that the collective energy feeds off, and actually it likes when we're there. We're easier to manipulate when we're there. So this is an energy of the word that just keeps reverberating in my head is solid. You want to feel solid. What are the things that make you feel solid? Is it moving your body? Is it getting out in fresh air every day? Is it napping more right now? Is it I do feel like we need to be resting a lot more now because there's so much collective energy that's chaotic outside. So resting, resting, resting. Lymphatic movement, lymphatic drainage. Yeah, coffee enemas, like moving stagnant energy through the physical body, very, very important right now. Sunlight on the skin, sunlight on the skin, sunlight on the skin. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Electrolytes, electrolytes, electrolytes. I would say actually start to get to know homeopathic medicine. Just as your standard, like not even in the way that I work with it, although it could be like in the energetic way I work with it, in the miasmatic way, but I'm talking like homeopathic first aid kits, and just having those things on hand for, should we face another imposed lockdown? And, I know I'll get questions. What am I doing to prepare? Well, the first thing is I'm tending to my physical body. As you know, I've got my bloods up to date. I know where I need to be supplementing. I know what foods like make me thrive and what don't. Like my physical body and my health is my priority. That's my first point of call. And then it's the physical health and vitality of my home and my family. And so that looks like the other day I bought a 10-kilo bag of rice, right? Rather than just a small bag, I got the 10-kilo bag. I've started to buy 10-liter units of water. And this isn't coming from a place of fear. I mean, 6 weeks ago, I bought my first 10-liter pack of water. I'd never bought water in my life. Left, left the grocery store, went back in and grabbed the water, intuitively guided. Had no idea. I thought, oh, maybe a flood's coming to our region and I just need to have a bit more water. But I've still got the water there. And I realized, oh no, I was picking up on something that was coming in the coming months. So I would say, think about what would make you feel safe and prepared, and what would counteract any sense of panic, urgency, or anxiety should prices increase and the food supply be impacted in some way. If you don't know your local farmers markets, get to know them. If you aren't familiar with the online farmers delivery store, for up here on the Northern Rivers, it's the farmers store. And that's who we get our produce from. But you can also get to start going to your markets, start to support your farmers. There's also water is just a big one to just have, spare reserves of, and gas is an important one too. And if you don't have a gas stove top, then get yourself a barbecue or a little stove cooker. These are just and this isn't me coming from a place of fear. It's genuinely just me being pragmatic and going, if you don't need to use these things, fucking great. If you do, you're sorted, because you won't get into that chaotic panic last minute kind of urgency thing that we saw in 2020. Like forewarned is forearmed. So these are the kinds of things I'm doing. I'm definitely not going and like taking more than I need, but I'm also feeling this sense of prepared energy, which actually feels quite empowering. So that is part of how I am regulating my nervous system. So that's the first pillar, nervous system awareness and nervous system regulation. Second pillar, community. Community is key. And especially when the North Node moves into Aquarius, which we're kind of in the shadow of, we've just had an Aquarius eclipse. Aquarius is all around fuck the system, fuck the government, lean on community. So I'm kind of into it, even though it's like, what is coming? It's pretty textbook astrologically. So where are the communities in your life that you feel safe with and supported by? And this includes getting to know your neighbors. This includes, community groups where you feel safe. So online groups like the Heart Space. I know I always talk about it. I promise you, I've known that this space is so important for many, many years. And I'm beginning to see even more why. I'm like, oh, this is a safety zone that we can all drop into and be in our body, be in our hearts, receive wisdom, drop out of the collective noise and into this beautiful, grounded, liberated energy. Anyway, community groups, even like when I spent the weekend with my friends from the community theatre and I went and saw theatre and like it was art and it was connection, it was friendship, it was laughter. All of this is medicine. All of this counteracts collective fear. It cancels it out, right? So these spaces are calling for more of us. The other one, the third pillar that was coming through was nervous system, community, and nature. And this is what I love, genuinely makes me emotional. And this is likely because I work in a shamanic way and I've been working with the elements and the mountains and my animal guardians for 8 years. And they are the altar that I worship. It's Mother Nature, it's Mother Earth, it's Gaia, it's Pachamama. This energy is more powerful than anything else. And so I have so much faith and trust in the unfoldings that lie ahead because nothing is more powerful. No human is more powerful than the earth. And this is where you're going to see more people turning to their own spiritual worship of choice. And that could be God, that could be the universe, that could be, I mean, a lot of people are saying Jesus is coming. And Jesus could be their equivalent of what, like that sense of faith and hope. And there's no wronging in that, absolutely not. Like leaning on spiritual practice is divine and beautiful. And, you know, it's seated in everything that I teach and do. But spiritual practice aside, the earth and nature, we are of her. We are we walk as, you know, the children of Mother Earth. She's got us. She's got us. And so, how can we get out of our heads and the collective noise and into nature? Walking outside, being in beautiful expanses of nature, getting that sun on your skin, getting into the ocean. Like, as I'm speaking this through, it's like they're trying to divide us as a human species. Fuck, the intel is coming in loud, and I know this is a bit different for me, but it's coming through, so I'm just going to speak it out. It's like they're creating division between humankind when actually where we're needing to anchor is with the earth and nature, because there's no division. Division doesn't exist when we are connected with the earth and with nature. And so it's like the way to counteract the division they're trying to place with, you know, that's man-made is get back to nature, get back into the earth and into our communities and connecting with our neighbors and making our bread and growing our food and living the way our grandparents did. It wasn't that long ago that this was the norm to live this way. And we are just in this age of technology. And especially when Uranus moves into Gemini, like there's going to be big disruption happening with tech and AI. And we have, in a way, just lost sight of how beautiful life can be when it's simplified. And I feel like that's a big gift of these times where it's like, what happens if there's a, you know, there's a increase in XYZ, or there's, you know, if there's a blackout and we don't have technology, and it's like, well, we're going to have no choice but to surrender to the simplicity of things. Like, what would it be like if Instagram went down tomorrow? How we would be more present in our lives. We would be more present with our children. We would be more present as friends and loved ones and families. What would happen if, you know, our phone lines disconnected and we couldn't get text or call? We would visit. We would spend actual quality human time together. We would check in on our neighbors. We would have more conversations in the streets. Like, the way that I'm seeing it is it's a necessary reset that is coming. And we have the ability to be embodied in the way that we step into this next tier. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to be, you know, uncomfortable, scary. There's so much fear in the unknown, so much. And it's not to bypass that, because yeah, I get my waves too where I'm like, fuck, what's coming? Like, it's feeling there's building in the field, definitely. And astrologically, we can see there's a lot of moving parts as well. But being in a consistent state of that fear and terror and anxiety is actually going to do more harm for us individually and for our families than being regulated and just coming back to, how can I nurture myself? How can I nurture my family? How can I check in on my community? And have I been in nature? if we use them as the pillars that are going to move us through the unpredictability and the unknown and that void space of the coming weeks and months, then I just feel like it's not going to derail us in ways that it could potentially for, well, it's what's wanted, right? Us to be in this catastrophic fear state because we're easier to manipulate. So that's the vibe. Did we see that coming? But I'm being serious. Like I'm genuinely being serious here. For example, now that this is recorded, I'm gonna load it for tomorrow. I mean, it's today now because you're listening to me. And then I'm gonna go rest. Like that's what my body needs is actually that. And it's just listen to your bodies this week, guys. Listen to your bodies. Your body knows. Get out of the head into the body. Get out of the head into the body. Get out of the head into the body. Be prepared, but don't be scared. Oh my God, it rhymes. Be prepared, but don't be scared. Be prepared, but don't be scared. I'll leave it at that. Love you guys. I'll be back in your ears with your bonus episode on Friday.